Sammy Nestico, a Life in Music tribute concert, was made possible by the generous support of the Kranzberg Arts Foundation, Nancy and Ken Kranzberg, the Mayhew family, Shelley and Rick Mayhew, Bradley Curry and Julie Farrar, and the Grandel Theater.
First of all, thank you so much for being here. This means a lot to everybody putting the show together, to this wonderful band, to the Vicari family, and everybody that's an important part, and the parents that support Limerick Jazz. Thank you for being here. Thank you so much. So I'll try not to get too emotional on this. We lost a dear friend last December, or last winter, and he was a band member of this band. He was bass trombone. He's a gentleman that built the trombone studio at Missouri State University over 30 plus years, and there's so many educators and trombonists here from St. Louis that study with him. They're in Columbia, they're all around the country. He had this wonderful studio along with Randy Ham at Missouri State University. When I was a student in North Texas, we studied a lot of Stan Kenton music. And the 1970s was like one of our favorite decades when the great Dick Shear was on lead trombone. And there was another gentleman in the trombone section there, Brett Stamps, who was also an important part of that band in the 1970s with multiple albums with the Kenton Band. And I remember seeing this name, Bill Hartman, or William Hartman, on multiple Kenton albums. I was like, wow, this is great. And then I moved to St. Louis in 2010 and formed a St. Louis version of my big band here in town. And I spoke to Professor Randy Ham and also Professor Bill Hartman at Missouri State. I'm like, I know it's a long drive from Springfield, but it'd mean the world if you can make it to play in this band, and they did. And Bill made almost every single gig that we had up until he passed. So, if we could show a photo of Bill up there with the hat. Oh, okay. So, do you guys see the inside of that hat? And I love there's a close-up of that. This, by the way, is called a cover. I want to make sure I say this correctly, right? For those of you who know, this is called a cover. This is a very important hat. It's a Marine's hat that Bill had. But if you look at the inside of it, do you see the name? Sammy Nestico. This was actually Sammy's hat that he had when he was in the Marines band, when he directed and wrote all that amazing music for many years for the U.S., the President's own Marines band. He had multiple presidents that he worked for during that time. And his lovely wife, who I'd like to mention in just a minute, she told me this story about this hat. And some trombone players, like myself, for some reason, we have really big heads. I don't know what it is. I used to have friends back in Champaign Urbana. I used to laugh in my head all the time. I wore like a size 8 or more than that, like a baseball hat. But Sammy had, I guess, from hearing the story, he had kind of a large head. And then the people after Sammy, it wouldn't fit their head until Bill Hartman. So Bill was awarded to wear this amazing hat, and then he looked in the inside, and he saw that, like, oh my goodness, this was the Sammy Nestico hat. This is the person that we all love, that I fell in love with when I was in high school, back in Des Moines, Iowa, West Des Moines, Iowa, Valley High School, going in the library, looking at Hey Burner. We heard Queen Bee by the Limerick Jazz Ensemble earlier today. He did an amazing job on that performance. Other songs that we've been playing today. So I started checking out a lot of Sammy Nestico when I was a kid, and obviously through college, and this beautiful tribute today. So this is really cool that we actually have the cover here today that Bill wore. So we love Bill. He was an important part of this band. Everybody in the band was friends with Bill Hartman. I assume we have some other people in the house that knew Bill, either as a friend or a former student. When Bill passed away, it was so nice to see on Facebook all the tributes for Bill. It's amazing. So we would like to do something for Bill right now. Oh, look at that. Look at that face. Even my mother made a comment when I showed her that photo. I'm like, Mom, I want to show you that one of the nicest guys. She said right away, what a face, what a smile. So we're going to do a nice little tribute for our friend Bill Hartman. Going to feature all our trombonists, right? This is the way to do it for Bill. And Bill would have loved this, and just as importantly, Sammy would have loved this. So here's a song called You and Me featuring the trombone section. This is for Bill Hartman. And again, I mentioned, I want to introduce her. I'm going to go ahead and say it right now. The wonderful wife that allowed us to have this hat today, both of these. And she sent me the pictures, and she's been friends with the guys in the band, especially our lead alto player, Randy Ham, has been a longtime director of jazz at Missouri State, building this great jazz program. And I know Randy was extremely close with Bill, so this has been harder on him. So back there at the booth, Ellen, do you mind standing for us? Ellen Hartman. Thank you, Ellen. This is for you, Bill. One, two, one, two, three. Ladies and gentlemen, Bill Hartman's friends, closest to the drummer, that's the great Brett Stamps on trombone. Next to him, Cody Henry on trombone. Next to him, Jim Owens on trombone. And down there, we call him the Fridge. That's Eddie Clark on the bass trombone. We love you, Bill.
Sammy Nestico, a Life in Music tribute concert, was made possible by the generous support of the Kranzberg Arts Foundation, Nancy and Ken Kranzberg, the Mayhew family, Shelley and Rick Mayhew, Bradley Curry and Julie Farrar, and the Grandel Theater.